Hello, and welcome back to Eternal Ramblings. I am Separalis, and this show is not really a show. It is me talking into a microphone while something happens in the background. Yes, I said this would be a bi-weekly deal. I don't know. I'll try things out. I'm going to try doing this weekly, as long as there's things to talk about. If things start to dry up, then I guess I won't. I guess I'll slow it down. But as far as we go, things have been happening. There's stuff I forgot to mention last week that I was reminded to mention. I'll go and talk about that later. But here we are, the 24th of August, if I remember rightly. Yes. First I think we'll start off with Eternity news, topics. I guess we'll go with Eternity topics. Alrighty, first would be, I guess I'll just start into Minecraft. The last time I said that I would have it up and running and have that started, finished downloading some plugins and configuring those. Well, obviously I didn't do that. Oh boy, it's been a busy week. A busy weekend that weekend. Busy all week, a lot of people around, a lot of things happening, which I will talk about later because it has less to do with the community, the Eternity community, and more to do with my own personal life, which also ties into the things that I forgot to mention last week. So yeah, I'll go ahead and leave that till later, but I will say that I haven't forgotten. Oh boy, isn't it just like me though, to say I'm going to do something and then not do it because things get in the way or I forget. But I didn't forget. I was thinking about it all week and I was stressing over it. Not really stressing, but lamenting, I guess you could say, is the closest that you could come to the actual feeling that I was having. I have not bought another Ethernet over power, thing. Words. I meant to, I never got to it. I should have done that, but I still wouldn't have been able to move things around and get stuff sorted because of what happened. But I should have bought it, but I never did. Things always came up. I got tired because it would be late. The usual deal. We did have guests, and a lot of that got in the way, and other events that week. But enough excuses. I haven't ordered the hardware yet, but I have it on my list right here. I have a notepad in front of me to remind myself what to talk about and also what to do later. Otherwise I'll forget. I'm just so scatterbrained that I'll talk about something, I'll get started on something else, and then I won't do the thing that I said I would do but 30 minutes earlier. That's just how I operate. And then it'll come to me, I don't know, hours later. It's like, oh shoot, or days later, as the case may be in some things. It's like, oh shoot, I need to do this. Well, yeah. I have the hardest time remembering things that I've forgotten as well. My recollection is very much triggered by certain events happening, being in certain places, doing certain things. I need to almost recreate the circumstances under which I remembered something in order to remember it again, which is insanely difficult if you can't remember what you forgot to know what you were doing when you forgot it. I don't need to do it all the time, but I need to get in that same sort of mindset that I was in, and sort of recreating the circumstances helps immensely. It's An odd thing. I wonder if that is an actual thing with a name. You know? Having to recreate circumstances to remember things. You know, aside from just normal amnesia, I guess. Gosh. I do worry sometimes that I'm going, not, gosh, what is the word? That I have or will get dementia. It runs in the family, not dementia itself, but Alzheimer's. And my latest, I say latest, but I mean the lifestyle I've been living for the last 10 years, which has gotten better, but especially for the first 6 or 8 years of that time, the lifestyle I have been living is one that made it worse, or makes the risk factors worse, makes your memory worse and your brain stop working, you stop sleeping well, and that makes it snowballs from there. Apparently, new studies came out that you can stave off Alzheimer's, or at least diminish its effects for a longer time, if you sleep well. You get 8 hours of good sleep, or even just 8 hours of any sleep, but good sleep is the best, because your brain needs that time to remove the junk from your brain, essentially. I mean, quite literally remove the junk from your brain. There's I don't know what they're called, but it's some sort of protein that if you don't get enough sleep, it starts to build up in your brain. Of course, the buildup makes it so that it builds up in certain places more than others, and in doing so, it actually makes it harder for you to get restful sleep, good restful sleep, which you need to prevent these protein buildups. And so, of course, it just snowballs from there, and actually these proteins, the buildup of these proteins, have also been linked to Alzheimer's being presented in people. I don't know if it gives you Alzheimer's, but if you are going to get it, I believe it makes it earlier. It like comes on earlier or gets worse, as opposed to if you got good restful sleep. These are the things I worry about because I have a family history of Alzheimer's. Both of my great-grandparents on my father's side had Alzheimer's, and it progressed when I was younger, where you could actually see the deterioration, and it progressed pretty quickly over the course of a decade to where they both had to be in a home. My great-grandpa, who is still alive, surprisingly, I mean, he's really old, but he barely recognizes. It's probably my only actual fear in life, is that happening to me and not being able to remember my wife and loved ones, my family, and my friends, if I'm living around any friends. Boy, that's a downer to start on. But yeah, how did I even get on that? I don't know, this is what I was talking about. Anyway, Minecraft, I am getting onto that. And yeah, I haven't ordered the hardware, but I will be doing that after this recording. I swear I will do it. I mean, all one of you cares, even if that one person happens to be listening, which I doubt he is, but if he is, he's the one who cares. I don't know, hopefully more people care. I spent too much money. I mean, not a whole lot, but I spent money on this server, and I'd really like to keep using it in one way or another, even if Minecraft goes belly up and we don't continue with this server. I'm going to find something to do with this hardware that we all can enjoy. Next, anyway, Eternity stuff. Next, topic 2, we have I believe SCA, the Society for Creative Anachronism. No, Sioran Cycling Association. Hadash is in the modern tech roleplay. Hadash has started restarted his cycling association, his grand tours, his tournaments, his races, all those simulations. He has asked for people to present teams and riders. It doesn't take long. It takes 5 minutes, and thus that's why I haven't done it. Yeah, he says it takes 5 minutes. It takes longer for me because I'd have to come up with the names, and I'm terribly bad at names and just coming up with things in general. If nothing else, you can just basically give him some names and tell him to come up with stuff, and he will. And so it can just literally take you 5 minutes for your roleplay nations, assuming you have any. If you don't, you can always create some for Newland. Everyone forgets about Newland, or they just don't care. But you can always create stuff for Newland anytime. If you have questions, always just feel free to send me a message, and I'll answer your questions. But I would really love to see people take the reins of Newland. Lines apparently has disappeared after winning the presidential elections. Isn't that great? So nothing's really getting done, but of course anyone can propose legislation in the legislature that Hadash has started. So thankfully, only half a year in game, give or take. But he got on it. I think he was waiting for me and didn't realize that as the speaker of the assembly, he's the one that creates the thread. So SCA, Sioran Cycling Association, that is in the Modern Tech Roleplay OOC section, the discussion section. Go on in there, pop him some names, give him a private message, just send him some names, give him a nation, take 5 minutes, and it will make him really happy. On next to the Eternity newsletter. The one thing I don't like about following a list like this is that I don't get to randomly ramble and come across thoughts. Although, I kind of do still, but I don't know. It's nice to have structure so I don't forget things, but at the same time I won't just come across random thoughts that I like to talk about that I forgot about when I made the list. Either way, I can't win. I'll forget something, so I guess I'll keep with the list because at least then I forget less. Anyway, next, I'll be working on the newsletter. It is coming up August, so it is just about deadline for me to be putting out the newsletter. This is the newsletter that I send out to other regions, other forums. I do need to find new places just to try to elicit interest and tell people what's going on here. And also for people in the community who don't know what's going on, they can catch up. It's a helpful little thing. Not very many people take advantage of it, sadly, and you should. I do spend several hours writing these and working on graphics and formatting the newsletters. And not that I want to guilt anyone into reading it, but it does take a good chunk of time, and that's why I'm doing it bi-monthly. I don't feel anything is happening quick enough for me to justify it doing it any more than twice a month. Sorry, every 2 months. Boy, twice a month would be insane. No way, I'm not doing that. So every other month I come up and I write these things. And it has come due because the last one I wrote was back in June. And it is 1 week to go to the end of April. Good job. August. Good job, Sephiroth. Yeah. So, as part of that, it does save me time. If you have anything to talk about, if you have news, send it to me. If you want to write an article, a section, I guess we'll go with section. If you want to write a section of the newsletter, send it to me. It'll be great. Roleplay stuff, things happening around the community. Yeah, anything about the community or yourself even. I mean, even personal stories from members of the Eternity community I would love to have. That would be a nice little addition. Someone is calling me, and I'm going to shut that off. So, send them all to me if you got anything going on. If you don't, but you want to write something anyway, go for it. It'll save me time, and I'd love to hear different perspectives. No doubt you will have something that I have missed. Alrighty. Forum activity has kicked up lately. I have noticed. We have a couple people have come back. Eskia. I'll call him. I don't even know what his name is. He changes his name so much, but I'll call him Eskia. He's come back. We have Carpathia. He's come back a little bit, I guess, recently. He came back a couple days ago and has mentioned a lot of things. Brum's come back. He came back a couple weeks ago, actually, I think, a week or two. And they've put a lot of activity in the Eternity Twitter, on that modern tech roleplay Twitter. Planning a whole lot of new things, apparently. A lot of new activity. That would be really great to have. I feel like not a lot of people are actually checking the forum and waiting for notifications to pop up in the Discord. Discord's great, by the way. If you're not in the Discord, I don't know how you found out about this recording, but if you're not in the Discord, I'd recommend going on there, because that's where 99% of the activity is taking place. Lots of political discussion that I would steer away from if you don't want to deal with other people. A lot of gaming news. A lot of talk about roleplay nowadays. A lot of just happenings in people's life in the general chat. It's a great place. Go ahead and sign up on Discord and click on that little Eternity tag at the bottom of the forum. Eternity Discord. Was that a plug? I guess that was a plug. But is it really a plug if you're plugging to the community itself? About the community? Maybe not. Twitter activity. Yeah. A lot of activity on the Eternity Roleplay Twitter, but not so much on the forum. And that to me is concerning, because the forum is basically the landing page for people that come in. And there's so much to do there. People think there isn't. Alright, come on. If you've been writing stuff, there's a place to put your writings. If you want to roleplay, we still have roleplay active. People complain about nothing happening, but you can't get stuff happening if you're not starting stuff to happen. Right? Exactly. If nothing else, we have a whole spam section. We have a whole section about games. I know people are playing games. I see you talking about games in the Discord. Go ahead and talk about your games. Put it on the forum. Give it some permanence. This is the one thing I don't like about Discord, as opposed to, say, a forum, making a forum post. Things on Discord, while they exist and you can scroll up, over time they basically disappear. I don't know anyone who's going to scroll up hundreds of replies and many months to find a single thing that they don't even know that they need to find, say. You can't really reminisce on a Discord. You can spend hours scrolling up and only go up for maybe a month or two. So, things to remember, things for posterity. This is why I like a forum, because it's a lot easier to scroll through a list of topics and go, aha, that right there is what I want to remember. That right there happened on that day. So go ahead, if things are happening, pop it in the chat. It's gonna be great. Don't pop it in the chat. Pop it on the forum. And hey, if nothing else, go ahead and spam it up.
Let's try something new. This should be interesting.
Hello and welcome back from the little break I had. I was having some trouble with the there's static. It got really loud in the microphone. I could hear the feedback in my headphones. I had to sort that out. But it seems to be a bit better. If it comes back, I'll have to take another break and take care of it. I don't know. Stuff happens. I can't really say that I know what happens, but stuff happens with the hardware sometimes, and you can't do anything about it. You just gotta deal with it. Sadly, this is a single take recording. I'm not going back and recording over anything else that I've done. This is Ramblings. This is live. This is not really a situation to be going back and redoing what I've said. See? Mistakes. Mistakes happen. And they're part of the rambling. Alright. But, birthdays. I was saying how there was stuff that got in the way, and a lot of it was birthdays, and Sal actually got on to me for not mentioning birthdays last time. It was great, actually. She wasn't mad, but she was disappointed, we'll say. Sorry, I know you're listening, but I gotta tell them. Anyway, she was telling me to talk about birthdays. My birthday was last week, and I completely forgot to talk about it, mostly because I got rambling onto other topics. And so it just completely skipped my mind. Well, golly, it completely skipped my mind again. Anyway, it was last week, and Sal came up and had a little celebration for me. I'm not really used to celebrations. Well, obviously, as a kid, I was. But as an adult, for the longest time, I never really had celebrations, really. I would be with my parents most of the time. There was a couple years where I wasn't. But I would be mostly with my parents. And we weren't really a family of means. But I did live quite comfortably, I would say. Our very lower middle income household. I don't think I was ever wanting for anything that I didn't need. But birthdays were never really a big event as I got older, especially when I became an adult. I don't know. It lost its magic for me, really. I still enjoy the celebrations when Sal comes up and surprises me with stuff. Things that I want, things that I didn't know I wanted. Things that I do enjoy. She knows me pretty well, and also I let her know pretty straight up what I like and what I want. So, birthday last week came and went. I did not have off for it, so I was working. We both were, as I was expecting. I mean, I wasn't trying to make a big deal of it, but Sal got off work early and made a cake for me, a 3-layer cake. It wasn't very big around, but it was stacked up. It was not. Oh my gosh, it was rich. Oh boy, was that thing rich. It was great though. It was this vanilla buttercream with Earl Grey tea in both the cake and the buttercream icing. It was really nice. You couldn't really taste it in the cake, but you could kind of get the note of the Earl Grey in the frosting itself. We got decorations for it. Oh, she went all fancy. She was so excited. It was pretty good to see her. That was pretty cute. Being so excited for it. With my 29 again candles. I hit the big 3-0 this year. 30 years old. Or young, as the case may be. The 30s are a really odd time where you don't really... No one ever looks 30. Never. You either look and sound and seem like you're in your 20s still, maybe your late 20s, but still in your 20s. Or you look and sound and feel like you're in your 40s. I'm kind of still in the 20s stage, I would say. I very much look younger than I actually am. Especially if I get rid of the beard. The beard is pretty, I don't think anyone knows. I actually got rid of most of the beard. I had to get rid of that my winter coat, as it were. It's far too hot outside. Working outside in a full beard. So it's been trimmed up, it's nicer. Well, she was really, really into it. I got far too much. She should not have gone all out as she did. She says she didn't, but at least it feels like she did. I wanted exercise equipment. I don't get to go out to the gym as often as I used to before we moved up here. I never really had a gym membership, but we went to Planet Fitness. And so she had the black card membership, which basically meant that she could take someone in. So she'd go and I'd go with her after work. Well, we don't have that up here really. She has a workout area at her workplace that she always goes to either after work or during lunch. So I don't get to go to a gym, and I haven't gotten fat. I've actually lost weight. But I was really wanting to get exercise equipment here so that, say, I could hang out with her in the living room or up in the bedroom, or do whatever workouts I needed to do with her there while we're doing things, talking about things. And so I wanted exercise equipment. Not much. I wanted not really these bars, but there's these little things that you cup your hands around. I have a hard time doing push-ups. I can't put my hands flat on the ground, at least for too long. It really, really hurts my wrists. I swear I must have my mother's wrists. So my wrists really hurt when I put my hands flat on the ground. So she got me pretty much exactly what I wanted, which were these kind of bars that sit on the ground. These push-up bars, basically. You can grip around them as if you were doing push-ups on your knuckles, like on a fist. And that really helps to take care of the strain on my wrists when I'm doing push-ups. I can keep everything in line and nothing's bent and getting pressure put on it. I'm really looking forward to using those. I haven't used them yet. I do plan to take them out of the packaging soon and start using things. So it's going to be great. I'm going to love it. I wanted a sit-up bar. They make these little sit-up bars that you put underneath that door, and they sit there and you can hook your feet into them and do your sit-ups right there at the door. Well, she didn't give me that. Instead, she got this rolly thing. It's like if you took a rolling pin and put a big fat tire in the middle. You've probably seen them at a gym if you've ever gone to a gym. She got me one of those, basically to help with crunches, and you roll back and forth. You're supposed to keep your legs straight. Basically just move with your abs and your back. Well, she got me one of those, and that's going to be pretty nice, and I look forward to using that so I can finally get my my core workout going. I don't have very good balance if I try to do sit-ups without hooking my feet under something. Well, I mean, I can do crunches, but if I try to do sit-ups, full-on sit-ups, I just go out of balance. I can't keep my feet down. I don't know why. I know you're supposed to be able to, but I just can't. So my legs will come up. No, that's no good. So, she got me that. Sorry about that. Getting a bit stuffy. And she got me, golly, what else was it? Oh, it's like those elastic ropes. Kind of. These elastic things, really. You hook them under your feet. And you pull them up or just pull them out. And they're supposed to help with parts of your arms that you don't normally use. Those elastics, basically stretch bands with hoops that you can hold onto and pull. Got me one of those so I can do a more complete workout than just push-ups and sit-ups. So that's going to be really useful. It sadly only has a 40-pound resistance, I think. So, I mean, which is enough for me right now. I know when I was doing sort of overhead presses, I could only do 20 to 40 pounds, and that was when I was more active in the gym. Oh, golly, those things really wear you out. You barely use those muscles most times. But eventually, I'm going to outgrow that elastic band and going to need something stronger. Today is not that day. Oh well. So I'm looking forward to using these. She also got me, oh boy, I'm gonna feel bad for not remembering. I'm gonna not remember on this recording. There's too many things going on distracting me. She got me a cute little card, it was great. Gosh, what else? She got me a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted. Oh, she got me an electric spice grinder. Now, I've been asking for a large mortar and pestle. Large mortar and pestle. I'll say that. It's wrong, but I'll say it. The kind that, good cooks and chefs use, because I cook a lot. And so, I wanted this mortar and pestle. Nice big heavy thing to grind up, say, all my spices. You put parsley in there, put your garlic in there, anything you really needed. Well, she didn't get me that. She's been not wanting to get me that. She keeps telling us, or telling me, that we have one. It's this little rinky-dink, probably a shot glass size but wider, little tiny thing that you can probably get 2 fingers around the little stone. And you can put maybe a clove of garlic in there at most. It's crazy. She thinks that's good enough, and I do use it. She says I don't use it, but I do use it. I used it this last week even. So, I do use it. Sorry, I'm fighting this microphone. I may have to make this a short recording, but instead she got me the spice grinder. Now, it's fine. A spice grinder is perfectly fine. We're going to use it sometime. I'm happy I got it, but I still give her crap. I still give her a tough time for her war against a mortar and pestle. Her abject refusal for us to get another mortar and pestle. So, that's fine. It's fine. Thank you, honey. Thank you, Sal. Yeah, we'll use it sometime and see how well it works. Boy. What else was there? I feel bad, because I don't remember. I don't remember what I got. It'll come to me later, after the recording has stopped, of course. And I don't mean when I go and actually look and see what I got, but actually, it'll come to me what I got. Anyway, I've got several things, because she's great like that and spends too much. Last weekend, though, after I did last week's recording, I believe it was later that night. If it wasn't, then it was the next day. I think it was the next day. My parents arrived. They arrived at like 3 a.m., so it was insane. 3 a.m. on a Sunday, maybe? they wanted to come up and see us both because both Sal and my birthdays are a week apart, 8 days apart, I think. Yeah. So they wanted to come up, and they came up between our birthdays, and basically we had a grand old time. A nice little celebration. My parents were asking for my birthday wish list, and I refused to give it to them because they're in no place currently to be buying me things. I don't need them to buy me things. I don't need them to go out of their way. Coming up to see us was already going out of their way. They needed to they visited my sister, so they decided afterwards to come up to us before going off and taking care of what they need to take care of. I'm not going to go into drama that's been going on around my family. Stuff's been going on, and it sucks. But we'll get over it. Things will turn out. It's alright. Dad's gonna be fine. Mom is fine. My sister's doing well. Very well, actually. After her graduation, gotten her job, starting her career, it's pretty cool. Living on her own. Doing a heck of a lot better on her own than I did when I was on my own. I'll say that. Both a lot more adult-like and a lot less problems. Birthdays. I got a lot. My parents came up, so they were with us all week, and they were going to return on Monday morning. Well, they didn't. I don't know what came up, but I guess they decided not to leave. They were going to stick around another day, which I'm not sad about. It's always nice to see my family. I get along with them a whole lot better now that I'm not actually living with them or beholden to them. I loved my family. Alright, I'm not going to say I never liked them, but there was a whole lot of conflict when I was beholden to them financially and living under their roof in some cases, to the point where I almost actually took a Greyhound out of the town to go any freaking where else. Anywhere. Thankfully, both my mom and my wife talked me out of it. Current wife, then girlfriend, I guess. Yeah, we were definitely dating by that point. So, we get on a whole lot better now that we're not around each other. It's not like, they're not bad people. They're good people, and I like being with them. But it's just two types of personalities that don't mesh. You know, normal circumstances, being together with each other, we do fine. But it's two very stubborn, strong-willed people that when something arises that makes them at odds, then things really blow up. I'm one of them, and I won't say who is the other. But things were usually good, but far too often things would blow up, just explode. And throughout my childhood it caused problems. It only got worse as I got older. And I'm sure it would still be even worse still if I was living with them. I would still have these problems with them. But things are good, and it was nice to see them. I got to take my father to IKEA for the first time. He was kind of happy about being able to finally say that he went to an IKEA. and we went down to a little German town in town. German town in the city. I think my parents were expecting sort of like Helen, Georgia. Basically this little tourist trap where people go and they get this what's billed as a sort of authentic German experience with German food and architecture around the town, and obviously it's like where a lot of German people settled at one point in history here in the US, but and so they're capitalizing upon that link and that heritage and really dolling up the town to make it look like a sort of alpine community, because it's in the not the heart, it's in the Appalachian Mountains, or at least Piedmont. I think it's in the Piedmont, so it's very hilly there. It kind of gives you a sort of a South German feel, but it's definitely a tourist trap. Everything's way overpriced. Everything caters to tourists. It's yeah, I would it's a nice place to visit, but it's obviously for tourists. I think that's what they were expecting, but no, it was literally just the German ghetto. That's it. What used to be an old German industrial ghetto that has turned itself around, built itself as a quaint little place. It is nice. It's nice to look around. I love old row houses, and you can see you have main avenues, and there's like all kinds of alleyways. Like most of the houses are in alleyways that are wide enough for maybe one car, one and a half. That sort of place. I love the house, that style of house. Just this old, late industrial age look, I guess you could say. Late 1800s, more like early 1900s style. Very brick. Small streets. Stop calling me. Yeah, so it's pretty great. We went to a bookstore there that goes on. It's like a maze on the inside. It goes on forever. You go in and it winds up and down in long rooms sometimes. It's like an extra dimension or L space in the Pratchett universe. Library space, basically, where you enter a room, you enter a place with books, and it just goes on forever. The more books, it's like a new dimension. Oh, this is hilarious. In the game here, I'm going to draw attention to it. All these Banes popping out and just encircling this town. Oh, we were hoping that there'd be Banes on all sides of it, so that we can complete the ritual. In case you don't know, that town, it's shimmering with that blue light. It has stone circles in it. Well, Banes can't enter those stone circles. They will immediately die. As will any player character who's corrupted. So it's that town is safe, but immediately outside its doors is an army of Banes just staring at him. Anyway, had parents over. They left on Tuesday. Wednesday, we're so tired. I was just working so much. Wednesday, I was actually working really, really late. I had a good 12-hour workday that day. Well, I was just too tired to do anything. And more to the point, I had to prepare for Sal's birthday, which was this week. So I took off work on Thursday. Well, I spent that entire day getting car work done. Yeah. that took 2 hours for an oil change and an oil filter, which was silly. The only reason I took it in was because the last time I went in for service, the mechanic who was doing the service, it was a big service, so it's not like I can do it myself. He cut a vacuum line. Instead of detaching the line and moving it out of his way, this very smart and stable genius cut the vacuum line and decided when they were done to just put a little piece of green plastic tubing inside the line and connect the two sides and bridge the gap as if that would hold. Well, I found out that this had happened when I happened to open the hood of my car to see what it would take to remove the front bumper. The whole front grille section, really, it's really ratty. And I'm going to replace it with salvage yard parts if I ever find any. And I noticed this happen. I noticed this thing in my engine. I'm like, oh heck no. No. So I taped it up. Taped it together as best as I could with duct tape. As you do. It's terrible. Oh, I was so mad. But I only went back into that dealership for them to replace this vacuum line. Well, I took it into the express lube side because I called and they said, yeah, we can do it. Just take it into the express lube side. Tell us about it. We'll take care of it. No, they don't do that. They don't do that on Saturday anyway, which is when... Was it? No, it wasn't Saturday. It was Thursday, like I mentioned. And why the heck didn't they do it? Anyway. Yeah, they didn't do it. They couldn't do it in the express lube. And the only other time that I can take it in is on Saturday when I usually don't work. And that's when they absolutely can't do it because they can't diagnose or really have, I don't know, whatever excuses they want to come up with. But that took a while. I had to come back and quickly had to start making macaroons. Yes, instead of making a cake, I made macaroons because they looked amazing. Chocolate dipped coconut cookies, essentially. Really sweet, really delicious, crunchy on the outside, chewy on the inside. Sal loved them. So I made those. They came out really nice. I liked it. And she liked it. And so she came home, basically when I got those done. And we opened presents, had a fun time. Well, I got her... First, I got her chocolate. I mean, she loves chocolate. We actually picked up the chocolate on a grocery run. She knew about the chocolate. I just decided to keep the chocolate as a gift. Packaged it up with some other things. I packaged it up with... Golly, I don't know what they were. They're like flower-shaped marshmallows that are purple because I think they have violet extract. They basically taste like violet flowers. And they're dark chocolate covered. It's really intriguing. I'd like to try one, but I gave them to her for her birthday because she mentioned them one time when we were in a grocery store, not the one we usually go to, but a grocery store. So hey, as I always do, I put it in my phone. Alright, this is what she wants. I have a whole long list of stuff that I picked from that. So I got that. I also got her a box of biscotti, because I'm not about to make biscotti myself, even though it's fairly simple. It's just a giant cookie that's baked, cut, and then baked again. So it's not like it's anything hard to do, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with biscotti. I hate baking. I like cooking, baking is terrible. I hate it. But I gave her a box of biscotti. She liked that. I gave her a box of coffee. Very fancy stuff. It was not cheap stuff. It was not a cheap brand at all. It was a Dodger coffee. We both know about Dodger, who's a pretty respected YouTuber. But she has her own coffee company because she's always drinking coffee. So I got her a box of that coffee. Apparently it's really good stuff. She actually tried it today. And it's really, really good. I absolutely hate coffee, so I will never be able to tell you what it tastes like. But she told me that most coffees, when they say it has notes of this or hints of that, it just tastes like a burnt bean still. Well, this stuff actually says like notes of chocolate and peanut. She can taste it. She can actually taste it. It's like, oh yeah, this has that chocolate flavor and nut flavor. Really good stuff. Apparently, she absolutely loves it, and I'm really, really happy because it wasn't cheap. So I'm not getting her another. At least not now. It's just too expensive to go out and get all the time. But good special occasion coffee for her to have a little bit of every now and again. In her French press that I got her last birthday or Christmas. I don't remember. But she uses it all the time, and I'm glad she likes it still. And also, it wasn't the last gift. I got her a card. And I got her a book. We saw it in Barnes & Noble one day, and so I found it again. A book called Mort, I don't know, M-O-R-T, parentheses, E, close parentheses, is on the cover of the book. Anyway, I don't know what it's supposed to be. I don't know how you pronounce it. Whatever. The protagonist is a sentient cat. It's basically about a world in which all the animals have gained sentience and are at war with humans who are evil and nasty to animals because of course we are. We're terrible. Plot revolves around this cat who, having gained sentience, falls in love with a dog, and this dog goes missing, and so this cat is trying to find their canine lover. Or friend, I don't know. Makes it out like they're in love with each other, but they might just be friends, you never know. So, this hero cat of the war going out and finding their friend. I got that for her. Hope she really likes it. It's a nice little sci-fi book. Has good reviews. So, I haven't read it, she hasn't read it yet. But so I can't really recommend it yet. And then I gave her coupons. This was the last gift because I got her a spa weekend tomorrow that we're going to. And she's really excited for it. The other coupons are for like massages in the house, either back massage, foot massage, other sort of little coupons to make her feel good. So she really liked that one. But tomorrow we're going to the spa. Maybe I'll let you know how that went. That's basically it, I guess. I could keep going, but the video's over. Alright, well, thanks for sitting with me and listening to my ramble. I have been Separalis, and you have been a pleasant audience to talk to. And I'll see you next time.